Okay, parents, guardians, listen up. We know that we want our kids to be caring, confident, and resilient. That's a given. But in a world full of distractions and confusing messages, parents feel like they're kind of on their own. But therapist and attachment research expert Eli Harwood says the key ingredient is connection, and I'm so glad she is here to explain. Welcome to New Day.
Thank you so much. So good to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here because this book really resonated with me, and I just want to jump in right now. Describe what securely attached parenting is.
Okay. So when we are born,
Yeah.
we don't have a brain that really functions, right? Like no baby has crawled out of the uterus and gone, nah, I could do better.
Yeah.
Like I got this, I'm not gonna go out, right? So
Right.
we relationally develop. We require others to
Yes.
survive and learn and thrive. And it
Okay.
actually takes human beings a long time to get to a place where we could like be out in the woods on our own and
Right,
survive
right.
that
Yeah.
situation, right? Okay, so the rhythm that we have with our children, that connection rhythm,
Yeah.
is about being able to respond to them when they are tender, when they are in distress, when
Yeah.
they are dysregulated, and that they can borrow our adult brain
Yeah.
for those moments when they aren't thinking logically and they aren't maybe making the best choices. And so it's this dance between I'm overwhelmed and I need you,
Yeah.
and then us as parents going, I'm here.
Right.
I've got you, come here. And children learning to
Yes.
use their relationship to us as a regulation station.
Wow, this is big stuff.
It's very big.
My brain is like struggling to catch up because this is it's a big concept. It really is.
Yes.
So what does securely attached parenting look like in a healthy relationship? Like how does it relate to our lives otherwise outside of our parents and in our general family?
Okay. So this pattern of closeness.
Yeah.
It's specific to the relationships where we find identity and belonging, right?
Okay,
So it's
yeah.
like, okay, so a parent and child create a rhythm of interaction. So
Yeah.
a child has a need, a parent hopefully is responsive, warm, calm, clear,
Right.
consistent,
Yes.
all of those things. Right? And then the child learns over time, oh, when I have a need, I can reach for others.
Aha, okay.
And then when others offer me support and understanding, I can receive it.
Oh, that's
And I can
beautiful.
just like move on with my day, and I
That
can
is beautiful.
relationally regulate throughout my life. So what's happening in childhood,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes an internal model for how we relate in our close relationships later on.
This is what I thought.
Yes.
But I wanted to double check with the expert.
Check, double check.
Okay. All right. So I want to ask this because this is where I struggle. So the world, it's seemingly scary. You know,
Yes.
there's a lot going on in this world.
Yes.
How do we protect our kids while still giving them autonomy?
So in the research, we talk about this role of the secure parent in these two ways. One is the safe haven.
Yes.
So we're that place where, you know, when they're little, they skin their knee and they come running to us. When
Yes.
they're older, maybe they get a DWI or something, and then they come
Right.
running to us, and we're there to help them process
Yeah.
the tricky, sticky, emotional stuff of life
Okay.
and help them regulate. But then we are also a secure base. So we're there to be sort of that background security for them
Okay.
of like, I can go out into the world and explore because I've got my people back here.
Okay.
And I know that when I hit hard times, there's going to be someone to turn to.
So does that look like I'm sorry to interrupt.
Keep going.
Does that look like as a parent, like you can be there but don't hover?
Yes.
Okay.
I like to say stand back and stand by.
Stand back, stand by.
Yeah, stand back, stand by. It's like we're going to let them make mistakes. We're going to let them fall. We're going to be there with them, but not for them. I see a lot of parents mistaking secure connection
Yeah.
for a rescuing stance, where it's like, I don't want my kid to ever feel pain. I don't want my kid to
Right.
ever feel discomfort.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kid to look back and be like, how could you let me go through that? And
Yeah.
so then every time they're facing something, we're just right there on top of them.
Okay.
That's not helpful because that's actually projecting our anxiety onto the moment.
Okay. So like, let's put this in actual
Scenario.
play, in scenario. So like, let's say our kid is having an issue with a kid at school.
Yes.
Kids being mean. We're not necessarily talking bullying right now, but like we're worried it could get there. When do we interject?
Well, we want to have the type of relationship with our kid that they're going to get off the bus and I'm going to say, how's your day? And they're going to say, it's fine. And then maybe like an hour later, I'm going to say, what was the highlight and the low light of your day? And they say, well, George, who's named George anymore? That's
Yeah.
hilarious. So
I like
the
that.
name
I call
example.
everybody
Okay.
thing George that's in their name. Okay.
George.
Yeah.
George was really busting my chops during math today. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah? And we want to be able to stay calm enough.
Calm.
And curious enough that we're not like, well, what did he do to you?
Yeah.
Right? They're like, okay, well,
Who are George's parents?
yeah.
Okay.
What's his address?
Yeah.
Right? It's more like, well, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, and we're curious and we're open, and our kids can tell that we also aren't saying, well, what did you do? What was your part?
Right.
It's like, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here to be a place where you can be contained and you can share all those things. And so, okay, so what happened to George? So the kid's like, well, George was calling me a name and making fun of my folder. Oh, he was. What did he say? He said it was a girl's folder. Oh, man. And he wasn't making that a compliment, which, you know, just personally, I find that a bit offensive, George, because after all, I am a girl, right?
Yeah.
And you're like playing around on that and having this discussion. And then you're helping them to nuance what it is that's happening for them. And then you want to give them kind of their options. So, I think that you have a few selections here, kid. You could ignore it.
Yeah.
You know, it might be that George just doesn't have a lot of social skills.
Yeah.
You could say something to George like, hey, man, it's not my favorite thing when you do that. Could you please cut it out?
Yeah.
You know, if it keeps happening, there's always the option to talk to a teacher or, you know, to have me be with you. Like, here's kind of this, like, charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board of options.
Do people know how to say that naturally? Charcuterie board?
Yeah.
That you can kind of go through. And then I'm going to be here to help you select. And we're going to get through this. And the message is, I got you.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm going to rescue you. It's, I got you.
I got your back.
I got you enough, and you got you.
I love that.
You're going to figure it out, and I'm going to be here with you to help you figure it out.
I am so grateful I had this talk with you and I was able to see that in practice. I mean, because it makes so much sense, like how you say the relationship affect us as healthy adults when we have these conflicts and things. So before I let you go, where can people, because they're going to have to get your book, Raising Securely Attached Kids. I'm stealing this book. You can't have it. It's mine. But where can people find you really quickly?
You can find it anywhere you buy books. So, you know, Amazon, anywhere.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So lovely
You're
to
great.